Hello, Morris Dimba is my name. Welcome to this presentation. Today I'm going to model a portal frame with a ventilated roof and a louvered side clad kind of a structure. Let's kick off here by going straight to modification of grid. We'll use this default grid for modification by feeding our own dimensions on these grid properties. We'll do away with all this and type our own dimensions here. We need column to column with an interval of 6 meters each. Now we need 10 columns and 6 meters in between the columns. Now we'll type the number of columns and the interval dimensions, which is 6 meters. We'll enter that 6 meters on X axis. This is X axis and Y axis is this. Now on Y axis we'll feed 3, which actually will have 2 columns, and the mid grid just the midpoint of the whole structure. Now we'll type 3 inclusive the midpoint of the whole structure, and the very important are these 2, 1 and 3. Now we'll type 15 because we need a span of 30 meters. So this will be 15, that will be 15. Perfect. We'll do away with this negative 450. We want all the measurement to start from 0, 0 level. Now we'll feed here our first height of 11 meters. That is the very top end of the column. Now it is 11 meters. Our second height will be high by 15.2. Our next height will be 16 meters. 16 meters. There you go. Now grid labels will depend on number of columns. Now this will be equivalent to number of this. Now we'll just go on and type the alphabets in a serial manner. E, that like that, and on Y axis we just leave it at 3 because we have the 3 grids here, 1, 2 and 3. Now on Z axis all these measurements must be similar to those ones on Z coordinates here. Now we'll just feed the 11 meters similar to the coordinate of Z. Just remove that, delete this, and feed 15.2 meters, then feed 16 meters there. Perfect. You are good to go, but before you give an okay to this, check the coordinates, check and confirm whether what you fed is exactly what you wanted to feed on your grid here, and come to label also and then do the same. Make sure the spacings are right between this, because the program will not be able to decode whether you wanted this to be together or be separated. That's perfect. We are good to go. We'll click modify here and replace the confirmation by knocking yes. Close that. Now we'll close this. We'll put this working area box into our grid by right clicking on it and fit work area to entire model. Perfect. Now the next thing is to create the grid. We'll get long grid lines. We'll click create. We'll pick first of all grid 1 and go to grid J, the very last one. I. Perfect. And we come to grid A. Perfect. And accept that. Click OK. Now the next thing we are going to do is to place our columns on this grid. But first of all, check on which grid are you placing all those columns. We have grid I and grid A. Let me communicate well on these grids. Let's go to isometric view. The grid I will start from this end, and grid A will start from that end. We want to start from a grid that is much closer to us. I is much closer to us and than A. We'll go to V, to Windows, and click grid I. We'll come to columns. Just place your column there. Right click to disable that command. Double click this to change the steel profile. Run down here and come to IPE here, where we have the variety of steel profiles. We'll work today with 400. Apply and accept. Come here and do the same. Apply, but don't click OK. First of all, we have to change the orientation of this column by going to position under column properties and rotate this. Click back. That's it. Still not complete. You're seeing the column is sinking down into the ground by negative 450, which is not right. We want this column to start from 0 level here. Double click on this and come to position and feed here 0. And if you check, the top level is not hitting the 11-meter mark. Feed that, accept, and give an OK there. Exactly, it has knocked up on 11 meters mark on top there. Next thing is to copy this column to this end. Just click on that, right click, and pick it from this point and bring it here. Perfect. Next thing is to place our rafter. Just go to steel, snap on that edge and run to this end. This is the beam that we are going to use as our rafter. Double click on that and check the profile. The profile is universal beam, which we don't intend to use. We want uniformity. We want that the profile name and the profile name of the rafter to be similar. We'll click on this and come to this dialog box down here and go back to IPE and pick a profile not of the same size as the column but lesser by some few millimeters. We'll pick 360, apply and accept. Come here and apply and accept that. Double click on this and check the full length of this beam is 15.3, which is not right, and it's rare to find a full length of a beam of 15 meters. Apart from that, it's not up to standard to just place a full length like that, because of the wobbling due to that long distance. Now we'll create a column here up to 7 meters and another one up to probably 8 meters there. Now we'll not delete this, still we will use it as our guidance in creating those columns, those beams. Apply this and accept. We'll come to steel beam and click at this point exactly where this started and direct our cursor to a direction we want that beam to run its full length to. We want this first beam to run up to 8 meters. We'll give it an OK there and accept. Just zoom out. This is our beam. Right click, don't right click, go to still beam and click there and snap right at this point again, right there, and direct your cursor to a direction you want your full beam to stretch its length. Just place your cursor there and don't click. Go to a keyboard and type the length of the beam. But here it's not necessary because the end of the beam is quite obvious for us. We'll just click there, right click and interrupt that. But if you hover your cursor on top of these two beams, you see you have two beams, but there is an imaginary beam inside there, but you can't see it. Now what we are going to do is we are going to select this, press Ctrl and select that, right click and mirror this, mirror that, copy, click this, right click, press Ctrl, click this and delete. This is our previous beam, but we couldn't find it. It was blocked with our current beam. Right click and delete it. Now we are going back to our isometric view and check here, properly aligned to the column. We'll switch back to grid eye, select all that member. You select this column and this column, press Ctrl and click that, right click, go to copy spatial and highlight mirror. Use that point and this point as our or your mirror line. Click that and accept. Now next is on the haunch. Want to create our haunch here, which is very simple. Very simple. A haunch we want to create between this column and this. We'll come to applications and the components and type here haunch. Just click inside this dialog box and scroll down. We need other types. Yes, you can work with raid eave haunch. Click that and click this and that. Click on the screen to disable that command. Click this and that. Perfect. Right click and disable that command. Now you can close this and switch back to your isometric view for clarity on this joint. You know, while doing the modification, you have to see all the details, all the things you're modifying here clearly. Now you have to put this in a position that you can be able to see it clearly, like I'm doing it now. Right click and interrupt that. Now it sits in the best position to my view. Now I'll start putting the dimensions that I think is best for my joint. Now I'll double click on this. I'll click on that and drag it aside. I'll come here and feed my dimensions here on the rib stiffener. That is 86.5, and 373. Haunch profile will be similar to that one of the rafter. I'll come to IPE 360, apply and accept that, modify that. Now a reason why I'm putting 86.5 is this. I'll do away with that. I'll come to edit point, not that direction. I'll come to measurements, free. That 86 is this distance from that point and this point. Check it down here. Is 85.7, and the other one is this and this. Go back. That and this, which is 373. Now double click here. Now the length of my stiffeners should take the full length inside here, and thickness I'll change that to 16 millimeter. Perfect. Now the next thing is parameters. Couplet, I'll place couplet. Just zoom it closer to see the changes. On couplet, just click this down arrow and click full and apply that. Then you'll come to parts again, go there, fit on top of the column, fit on top of the column. You can either pick these two. You can either pick bevel, which will slant slightly, and you can also pick that square. That's it. Now come to general, there. Now stiffener, number of stiffener, we'll put here 0. Number of stiffener we'll put 0 because you don't need this one. Put 0 there. Come to view, click on rotation, click there and rotate it for clear view. Now the length of our stiffener, go there, parameters, and that. Double click on this. Go click on that. We have rib stiffener, and the we have two stiffeners here, this and this. Now we'll copy this here, right click, copy that there, copy that there, paste, then do away with this, or you can just leave them there, but the main one is this. Go ahead and apply. It takes the full length of the inside length of the beam, which is exactly what we intended to do. We'll go ahead and apply that, but before you do that, go to bolts, change the bolt size, give it M16, 8.8, that, and here we'll come to vertical rafter, we'll feed 3, and here we'll give it an offset. We'll bring this aside and bring this closer for you to be able to see what you're doing and see the changes as you feed in your requirements. Now we'll feed here 100, an offset, apply this and see what exactly it's happening. That's it. But these don't change, just leave the middle left left, middle left right. They're changeable. You can play around with this after watching this video. Now we'll come to distance 1 or 2. We feed 1 or 2 there, and we come to haunch vertical. We'll feed the number of bolts we want with an interval of 120 with an offset from the edge 100. We need washer on the bolts. Haunch will be fitted on site. Haunch will be fitted on workshop together with the rafter. Rafter will be fitted on site. Go ahead and apply that. Apply and accept. Perfect. You see the bolts, well done. Bring this closer, right click and redraw to remove all those. Perfect. Our joint is neat and well done. Click on this. You can change the thickness maybe to 16 millimeter. Apply that. Right click and redraw. Do this on the other side too. You'll come here and click that, and click that, click this and that, right click and redraw that. We'll come to this, we'll type splice on applications and component, splice. We want number 56, which I think will be best suitable for us. Just type here 56, 56, 56. Perfect. Need this and this be linked together. Double click on this and adjust the splice. Push this slightly away. Come to bolts. Change all this. We'll need M16 there. That's standard. Thread we need. This will be a side joint. Now here we'll feed 4. For bolts, the interval of 17 millimeter. Here will feed 2 with an interval of 75. Accept that. Accept that. Apply. Rotate. Go and rotate this joint. Come to view. Rotate with mouse. Click on that spot and turn this round. We don't need this offset here. Right click. Double click on this. We'll come to S bolts. We need M16 there. Site assembly will feed here. Actually, double clicking on that, come to S bolts, M16 there, will feed here. The interval of 70. And down here also 2 and 75. We modify that. we'll come to bolts, put washer there, and make sure you're able to select how the bolts are aligned with the rafter. You can select between these two, modify and accept that, apply and accept all those. Come here again and do the same. Double click there, go to parameters, select that, apply and accept. Do the same here, which I think we never did. To confirm that, rotate and see. We never did that. We need to splice. Double click on that. Come here and select two splice, one on this end and the other one on the other end. Right click and redraw. Now come to apex haunch. Just type apex, click that, this end and that. Perfect. Here I don't think we have anything to modify. Rotate that, perfectly seated. Close this, switch back to our elevation view, redraw that, remove all those congestions. Our splice is there. That's our splice. Now we want to place this ventilation here. Just feed 1 meter. Rotate this, give it back, profile, change the profile type, the profile size, big 200, apply that and accept, click that and move. Give it 4 meters or just 3.5. Double click on this, extend the length downward. Not necessary, just click on it, click here and move it down. Perfect. Mirror this on the other side, but before you do that, make sure it sits right in the middle of the rafter. Go to isometric. It's not exactly what we expected, but you can modify this. Come to navigate, click there and rotate this. Come to edit, come to online point, or just click on this member, close that, click on this member, click move from this spot, or instead of doing that, just click on it, on this, come to position, click left, middle, it won't move appropriately. Click move there and place this there. Undo that. Right click, move this midpoint to be exactly on this end. Come to view, come to navigate, rotate with mouse. I assume is exactly in the middle of this rafter. We'll switch back to our elevation view on grid I. Click that, right click, special copy, mirror, click that and this, copy and accept that. Now next is to place steel member here. Click that, snap right here and snap right on the edge there. Right click, double click on this to change the profile. Come to profile there. There's no need to change the profile, just leave it at the same size, but we'll rotate the orientation. We'll change the orientation of the steel member. We'll come here and give it back, top, apply that, click that, right click, mirror, mirror, click there and mirror this. Perfect. Now it's quite the height of these columns is quite short. Quite short, but anyway you will just not perfect. Simple base plate, click that, that and this sit well with us. Close that, right click and redraw, click that and do the same here. Click this as the main and that as the secondary. Haunch, place our haunch here. Place our haunch here. Place our haunch here. Come to raid or 29, number 29. Just pick that. Raid eave haunch. That. Click this and that. Double click on that and modify everything. We'll change this to change all that, remove this, remove that, remove that. Thickness will remain the same. This will change to 0, put that 0, give this to 200, apply this. Not perfect, undo that. Close this, come to edit, check the measurements here. check the measurements here. From this end, come to view, rotate this, come to view, navigate, click that point and rotate, right click, come to edit, take measurement. From that end and this end is 183. Right click. From this end and that end is 47.2. Now double click on this, change all this, it's 183, 183, this 47.2, perfect. We'll delete that, modify that, perfect. Now haunch profile will be 200. We'll click on that and come to and select 200 and apply that. Apply. We'll come to bolts. On bolts, here we'll change this to 2. On bolts here we'll change this to, instead of 3 we'll feed 2. Let's give it 2 with an interval of 75 millimeter. Distance here on the horizontal, give it 50, and nothing more. We change that to 2 bolts with the interval of 75. Try to apply this and see the changes you've made. Not good, but averagely good. Close that, come to view, click that and rotate this. Perfect. Click on this weld. Not bad, not bad. To remove all this, the remains of this connection, right click and redraw, everything will go. We'll do the same this side, this and that. And we'll do haunch here, apex haunch there, this and that. Right click and redraw. Let's switch back to our elevation on grid I. Click this, right click again and redraw. Everything goes perfect. We'll switch back to our 3D. We want to place our base plates. Rotate this. We want to place our base plates here. Just type here base plates. There, we'll pick the simplest. Click that. We'll just leave it at that spot. It sits well because a column base will be put down there. We'll do the same here. Click on the column and point the point you want to place the base plate. Right click and redraw. We right click on the screen and redraw to refresh everything. Now next thing is to copy this here. I've jumped to high. Now instead of that, we want to put our our loofers. Now come to point, come to edit, point, come to point, or we can pick at any position, midpoint there, and just direct your cursor to a straight spot. That's a midpoint. Type there 600 from that base plate, 600. Now we'll pick this, we'll click that, copy, we'll copy it from this spot and place it here. Perfect. Now we want a length of the height of our loofah to be 2.5. Right click, click copy from this spot. Just place your cursor here for you to acquire a straight line. Type 2.5, accept that. Now delete that, it was just for a guidance. Delete this also, these are just guiding points. Now come to steel beam, click that. Just click here and place your cursor somewhere there and type, we need a length of 1 meter. 1 meter, click OK. Right click, click on it, try to move it slightly to flush with the beam. Right there. Double click on it again, double click on it, and change the profile size and the profile type. We need a HSS profile. Come here, click there, we need 60 by 60 by 8 millimeter thickness. We'll apply that, apply, OK. Right click, move, pick it from this midpoint and place this one here, place it there. Now next is go back to steel beam, click that spot, snap at the very end point of that and run to this spot right there. Perfect. Now we'll come to end plate, type there end plate, click that, main member and this secondary member, double click on that, come to that, select size of the bolt and the standard. Want this to be placed right in the middle, apply that. Perfect. There is no need of entering all those. Sits well for us. Now we'll go to the very next joint here, click that, the main member and the secondary member. This one you can adjust slightly, adjust this, feed here 50 and apply. Perfect. Apply that and click on that weld to remove it there. Next thing is we want to move this extrusion here. We want to move this extension down here by trimming it off. We'll come to edit, we trim with the polygon, click on the member to be trimmed off, click that, and snap at this end, snap at this end, there and here, there, here, here and here. It has been removed. To confirm that, click on the screen, right click and redraw. You won't see it anymore, it's gone. Now this will be a weld. You can just come here, come to steel, click weld, create weld to part, weld this and this, here and here. Perfect. Symbol of weld is here, this one here. Now next is to copy this. Just highlight everything, right click, copy from this spot, and this spot right there. Move up and place this one here. Move up again and place it here. Perfect. It sits well. Right click and redraw. Click on that. Click on this. Remove all that. We don't need this weld here. We don't need that. Just zoom out. Perfect. Now next is to mirror this on the other end. Press Ctrl and copy that. Press Ctrl and copy that. Right click, special copy, mirror. Click that and put it down here. Click copy and accept that. It hasn't done what we wanted properly. And do that. What we failed to rectify is our axis. Now our axis must be on the best position to allow our mirror command to act. Now we'll click view and mirror tool or work plane tool. We can place it here, just on our mirror line. Right there, interrupt that. Now we'll come back to our loofah structures. Right click, come to special, copy and mirror. Click that and run down to this spot. Click that, accept. Has it done what we wanted? Exactly, and that's better. Now we'll switch back to our elevation view and redraw that. Next is switching back to 3D, our isometric view. Highlight everything, right click and copy. Pick it from that spot and place it here. Right click to interrupt that command. Redraw. Click on that. Now come to steel beam. Click this spot and run down to this end and click the midpoint there. We'll change that profile. Click that. Come down to IPE and we'll select 300. That's much better. apply that. Position, put this, give this behind, front, that's better. Apply that. Right click, give a move command. Just place your cursor on a straight line and type 200. Perfect. Come to view, try to rotate this and check whether it is in the middle position. Now we'll come to end plate, click this and that, modify this end plate joint, come to bolt, end plate you can give 16mm thick. There's no need of adjusting this, it will adjust itself with the bolt spacing. Apply that. We come to bolts. On bolts, we need 4 bolts with an interval of 75. You see, it is adjusting itself. If you enter, it will adjust itself with the number of bolts and the spacing of the bolts. Now we need an offset of 50 there, of 50 there. 2 bolts, whether what you fed in is right. Come back there, click this and that. Perfect. Now we want to copy this down to this column. We need 3 of them to reinforce our columns. Right click and right click and click copy. Click here and direct it down here and type 5 meters. Perfect. Click this, right click and copy, and click again and direct it down here 4 meters. Perfect. We want to do the same on the other side of the column. Press Ctrl and copy this. Right click, mirror it from this point. This point will be our mirror line, there and here. Copy that and accept. Right click and interrupt that. It sits well. Redraw that. Next is to populate these along the grid lines. Right click, copy, pick it from this spot and place it here, and place another one here. Just zoom out and place another one there, place another one here. Perfect. Zoom out, click this, press Ctrl, click that and click this. The other end too, pick that and pick this one also. Right click and click copy. Zoom out, copy it from this spot and join up with that, and join it up with that, and join it up with this. Just move on to the very last connection, which is that. Right click again and redraw to remove all those congestions. Next is to place our purlins. Okay, today we will wind up here, and thanks a lot for watching this video, and let's meet on the next presentation On the next presentation, we will be placing the loofah sheets and these top roof ventilation sheets and purlins. Stay connected with this channel, and any question, please just type it there on the comment provision. I will respond back to you. Thank you for watching. I'm Maurice Dimba.